Hi everyone, thanks for hanging out with me today. This is part 4 of my book collection and completed pages. I have some from Lulu Mayo, Denyse Klette, some various mandala coloring books, and a few Disney books. Alright, so let me put these to the side. Let's see, I think I'll start with Lulu Mayo first. Okay. All right, so this one is A Million Unicorns by Lulu Mayo. And this book, I decided I wanted to use more pastel colors. So this wasn't my first page, but I think this was my first one in this book that I used like a white acrylic paint or a white gouache to cover up the white lines, or not really cover them up, but just make them a little lighter. Yeah, and you can definitely see the paint marks, like I think I used either chalk pastel or distress ink, and it really didn't go on top of that gouache or acrylic paint, so you can definitely see the paint marks. But yeah, so then just color pencil on top of that. And here is another one. Here I did a little bit better job of covering up the lines. I may have covered up the whole page this time and then used color pencils. So I have a variety of like the pastel pencils. The first ones I got were actually a watercolor pencil. It is this brand here. And macaron colors, and I'm not going to read that, but I'll show it to you. Yeah, these are watercolor, but you can also use them as just regular color pencil. You do not have to activate them with water. So I have those, and then I also have this brand, Indra. This one has a lot more colors in the set. Really pretty colors. And then my favorite that I just got this year are the Holbeins. These are really creamy, more like a Prismacolor. They blend really nice. Not as many colors, but it's enough. It's kind of, I just wanted to play around with them to see what all the hype was, and they are really good. All right, so let's see, I think I left off on that one. This is the page that I did with the Holbeins, and they blend, like I said, they blend really nice, really creamy. This was one of the first pages I did, probably that same year I got the book, and so I did not use the Holbeins on this one, but the color still blended really nice. And I think the background I did a probably a chalk pastel. All right, and then here's those. For some reason, anytime I see butterflies, I like to color them as monarch butterflies. So that's why those aren't pastels, but I still added a little bit of pink in there. All right, so color pencil, and then it also looks like there's some chalk pastel in the background here. All right, that is it for that one. All right, next one is A Million Magical Creatures. And the first page I will show you here, I did use some pastel colors on here, but I'm not like tying myself down to pastel colors in this book. But yeah, for some reason I just picked it for here. So color pencils and then some acrylic paint pens. And let's see, I know there's one more in here. Oh, here we go. All right, this one, I believe I tried out the Shuttle Art, like water-soluble crayons. And as you can see, it doesn't like blend very nice, or I couldn't get it to blend very nice. So I think they're better for smaller areas, not necessarily bigger areas like a Neo Color too. And let's see, it also looks like I used some glitter paint pens and acrylic paint pens. I know, like the stars I did with the acrylic paint pens, and color pencils. All right, pretty colors, just not super happy with how the background turned out. All right, that is it for that one. And then my newest Lulu Mayo is the Kawaii Tarot coloring book. And I have just one page in this one, and it is this one. I used markers, water-based markers for a base. Yeah, water-based markers to base most of everything. Color pencils on top, and then some acrylic paint pens. But yeah, I really love the kind of earthy tones color palette of this. This one is called Strength. Yeah, mostly the like oranges, greens, and then I like the pop of pink in here. So yeah, really cute book. Not really into like the whole tarot card, but I love the pictures. All right, there is that one. Okay, and then this one is not Lulu Mayo, but I kind of felt like it fit with the pictures of Lulu Mayo. This one is by John Bigwood. It's A Million Christmas Cats. And I just have one picture in here. This was a new book for me this year at winter time. So I have this little one, like a snowman cat here, and then the little cats are building it. So color pencils. I did use a black glitter pen for the hat and the buttons. The background is done with pan pastel and color pencil for the cats and everything else. Okay, my next few books are going to be from Denyse Klette, and I had seen these books around for several years, and I never really looked that, into them. It wasn't until I saw completed pages from My Cluttered Life, another YouTube colorist, that I really fell in love with some of the characters and the way she was coloring in them using oil pastels. Just made me take a second look at these books. And now they're actually one of my favorite books. Yeah, I just really love the characters. They're very charismatic. I don't know. I know she's done a lot of like Disney art before, so I don't know if that's where that comes in, but there's just something magical about like the classic Disney characters. So yeah, that's my take on these books. All right, so in Fairies in Dreamland, I wouldn't call it a criticism, but from what I've read reviews on other people, they think the fairies are too small. So I know in her other books, some of her other main characters get a little bit bigger, but I actually think it's very endearing. I think that they're just so cute. So my goal in this was to highlight the fairies. They are really small and kind of blend in with all this bedding and stuff in here. So my goal was to really highlight the fairies, trying to make her stand out in some way. So my method of coloring in this book is using a kind of very dark, bold, saturated background, minimal color palette, and some kind of highlight, keeping it really light around the fairy, adding some fairy dust, sparkly stuff. And then for all the bedding, I'm just doing a color wash. So water-based marker, or you can do a color pencil, but just something you can really take off, just keep it really light and yeah, not very saturated. All right, so here is the front cover page, oil pastel background. I had never used oil pastels in a coloring book. It's actually really fun to do. All right, so I'll go from the back again. But yeah, as you can see, the fairies are small and they really just blend in with all the other stuff. Here's a whole bunch. A lot of times they're sleeping, but like I said, I feel like they still have so much like charisma, whimsy to them. All right, so here's another one. So as you can see, nice like saturated solid background. I used acrylic paint for those paint splatters and oil pastel for the background. And I do choose, when I do the oil pastel, to find something that has really wide open spaces. I do in my other videos, when I have coloring videos on these books, I do show you how to get into all these little areas, but for the most part you want to choose something that has a nice big open space. And let's see, this one is alcohol marker base for the rest of it, color pencil for shading, and there's all the little blankets and mattress pillows. So again, those are done with a color wash. All right, and then the fairy, I do have just a slight subtle glitter outline around her wings. And I have been using some paint pens to add these little dots inside there. But yeah, I'm really happy with the results of the page. All right, and then here's another one. Very different color palette for me. But I think I like it. It's different, but yeah, I think it stands out really nice. So oil pastel background again, solid saturated. Mattress pillows here are done with the color wash. Minimal color palette and some paint pens for these little dots. Let's see, this was also alcohol marker base and color pencil shading. Cute little pig sleeping. Some of these characters you'll see throughout her books. So even like the mermaid book will have a pig. The gnome will have some of the same characters. A lot of birds too. All right, and then this one. But see, I just think it's like, they stand out so much with this oil pastel background. All right, so oil pastel background, I did lighten it up around the fairy to help draw attention to her, adding the little fairy sprinkle dust around her. This one isn't so much of a minimal color palette because I wanted it very colorful with the flowers. But yeah, the purple and the green and orange definitely kind of stand out. I think of Tinkerbell. I think when I'm coloring these fairies, so you'll see a lot of blonde with like green, green clothes. All right, and that might be it for fairies. Yep. All right, so there is Fairies in Dreamland. All right, my newest one from, oh, sorry, it's not my newest one. This is her newest one, Birds in the Forest. I did get this year, so I only have one page colored. And kind of the same method. I do kind of base my color choices around her artwork. If you've never seen her artwork, you have to go check it out. She's on Instagram, or you can just go to her website. But yeah, I love her colors. Like I said, she does a lot of Disney artwork. So yeah, just very colorful. This is another oil pastel background. Alcohol marker base, yes, alcohol marker base, and then color pencil shading. I know there's a video of this guy here sitting on top of the eggs. And yeah, so that is it for Birds in the Forest. All right, now my newest book, which is not her newest book. I think this was one of her second books. I think Fairies was her first one, and then Mermaids, and there's a Gnomes in the Neighborhood. And all right, so my story with this one is my son just had surgery, like a major complex spinal surgery last week. So I talk about it a little bit in one of my color and chat videos, if you want to check that out to see more in detail of what was going on with him. But anyway, so we were going to be at the hospital for a week. I was spending the night, a few of those nights, and his surgery was like 6 hours long. So I wanted a new book, just something new and very like lighthearted. Something, even if I didn't want to color in it, I could just look through it and, you know, it would make me smile. So also being summer, I wanted something summery. So Mermaids in Paradise was the book I chose. And I just grabbed my like case of water-based markers, and I have like Tombos and stuff too, so I put all those in like a bag. And yeah, just thought if I get a chance to color during those waiting times, then the water-based markers would be easy. I can always, when I'm home, come back home and shade things if I wanted. All right, I don't know why I'm flipping towards the back, because what I did was the first 2 pages in here. So I'll come back to that one, but this is the first page I did. This is the one where we had 6 hours of waiting, and I normally don't gravitate towards little fine details and flowers and repetitive things, but for some reason this is what I wanted to color during those 6 hours of waiting. So it was just kind of nice just to grab a few colors and then just color in all these little things. So water-based markers, and then I did bring my water brush, but I forgot to bring something plastic to do like the color wash or like using it as a color palette. So I did have a water bottle, so that is a tip. If you don't have any plasticky stuff, you could use a water bottle. So I used just a plastic water bottle, colored onto the water bottle with the marker, and then used the water brush to, let's see, that I did like her hair, and I did like a wash at first on her tail, and then went back with the markers and kind of made it a little bit more bold in here. Let's see, I did use watercolor when I got home to do these little effects here. The darker dots are done with water-based marker. And then I did use some like sparkly glitter pens for her tail. Let's see if I can get that to shine. There's a little bit of sparkle there. In her hair, oh yeah, you can see that, and then a little bit in the flowers. All right, and then so I finished most of that during those 6 hours, and then so the night that I stayed the night at the hospital, I worked on this. So water-based markers again. I just did the grass and like the base of the anchor and the chain and the clamshell. And then when I got home, I did a few more details. So the ground is with watercolor. The background is also with watercolor. And yeah, I kind of kept it a minimal color palette. Oh, I did the shading with some watercolor too. It did go through some here, and the page is a little bit crinkly, but over time it should flatten out a little bit more. And again, I used a little bit more sparkly glitter pens in certain areas. But yeah, I didn't really want to, you know, cover the whole entire page as a background because it's like the front page. I just wanted a hint of background. So yeah, I really like the way that turned out. And that is it for this book. These pages are duplicates of other ones in here, which I don't know why I didn't realize that. So I kind of wish I just would have done like the regular page instead of like the two front pages. So you can see that one and that one, a little bit different. But it's okay. I rarely do like the name page or the front cover page. So anyway, it was what I wanted to do at the time. So I'm not being too hard on myself. All right, the next pages are going to be from various mandalas. I have Yippee Kawaii Yay, Mandala Magic 1 and 2. And these I purchased on Etsy. It is by Dani Banani of Unusual Suspects. And these pages flip up this way, so I might have to turn it to the side to flip to the pages, and then I'll rotate it for you. All right, so here is, this is just like a tester page to test your mediums on. Super cute. And then she also gives you, let me find it here. It is like a blotter page. Here it is. Yeah, so you just rip that out and then you have this to put behind your page when you're coloring. So super cool. All right, I have done quite a few in here, so let me get to them. All right, here is a Forecast Fun. And I've been using a lot of alcohol markers in this one, some color pencil, but I've been trying to just keep it to the alcohol markers. So, and I love the names of the pages. Yeah, and just, you know, the illustration itself, all the little cute characters are a lot of fun. So this book I usually gravitate towards if I don't want to think about a lot of shading and things like that. I just want like a cute or pretty color palette and then just go with it. Little piggies going hog wild. This is one of my favorite ones. The pigs are just so cute. All right. This one is called Camping Cuties. Alcohol markers. Looks like there's some Posca or gel pen here. And maybe some color pencil for the background. Sweet and Slow. The Brew Crew. I love this one. And I did add some stickles on here. I don't know why, I'm just not able to catch the light. Oh, there we go, okay. There's some glitter. Fast Food Fantasy. Forest Friends. This one I did use color pencil. Let's see, there's one more in here. There we go. Ready, Set, Row. So a bunch of little veggies. It doesn't look like I used very much colors, but if you look at my color chart here, I did use quite a bit of color. That's because a lot of them I did the shading and blending in with, you know, multiple colors. But yeah, very cute. All right, I think that is it for that one, Yippee Kawaii Yay Mandala Magic Volume 1. All right, Yippee Kawaii Yay Mandala Magic Volume 2, again by Dani Banani of Unusual Suspects. And I don't have as many in this one. All right, this is probably one of my favorite ones in this book. Teamwork makes the beam work. So all these little aliens, I love like this guy, he's beaming up different objects. So you have the cow, a donut, pizza, yeah, a little kitty, ice cream, a cupcake. It's so cute. But yeah, I really love the colors of this one. I thought it was very fitting. All right, Feeling Foxy. All right, here's another blotter sheet, again, that you just rip out, and then you can use that to put under your pages. Life's a Beach. This is one I just recently did. Again, alcohol markers. Here is Making a Splash. Every time I think of raincoats, I think of yellow. So I picked a color palette that I could do some blue and yellow. There's a few additional colors, like you have green for the frog. Oh, and then a pop of red. All right, I think that is it for this one. All right, and then I have this one. So I don't think I have any mandala books that are like your typical, I don't know if it's mandala or mandala. But anyway, I don't have like a typical one of those. I usually pick them that have like objects that are in circles. Yeah, for some reason, I'm not drawn to the other style. So anyway, this is just a very small book, Amazon printed book, Mandala Explosion, fun for all ages. And this book, I actually got it because, well, it has bigger objects in here, but I thought I'd be able to like do one a month, and then at the end of the year, you know, actually have like a completed coloring book. But that hasn't happened. So yeah, I should just keep it on my desk and like force myself to color in it. So anyway, here is one kind of a winter theme with hot cocoa. Halloween with the little Halloween characters. The back has this haunted house. And these books I've been using my Crayola Super Tips. So again, Amazon printed paper, so not the best paper. Here is one. I just did this one recently. So some sharks, stingrays, the little submarines. I think of that song, The Yellow Submarine. So that is why I picked yellow. Ooh, the owls. I love the color palette of this one. And then there are some gold sparkles. This is, I believe it's the Winkastella. First time I used it, and it just splattered like right on my page. So I have this big glittery blotch right there. And then ice cream treats. So see, there's really not a lot of pages, so I really just need to do it. So that way I feel like I have a completed coloring book page, or completed coloring book. All right, this is kind of the same concept. I think it was during COVID that I actually see this. So you'll see some like COVID related images in here, I guess. So this is Doodle Coloring and Chill by Maura Summer. And again, it's the same thing. There's objects. It's Amazon printed paper. I got it, and then I actually just colored in it, like this year. When I was looking at all the books to go through for these videos, I was like, I have not colored in this book, and that's usually rare for me. Usually as soon as I get a book, I want to color at least one page, and I kind of got this, and then it was just like, just was not motivated to color in it. So I did pick a page just, you know, a few weeks ago and colored this one. But yeah, the designs are a little different. Like I said, here's like a COVID related one. Yeah, like I said, some of them I think are really cute. Like this one's really cute, but I just, for whatever reason, just wasn't motivated to do it. So there is that one. All right, next are going to be my Disney books. I only have 2, but I feel like they're kind of unique. I'm not like a huge Disney, you know, collector or anything, but I do like kind of unusual and different books. And I thought this was very unusual, that I hadn't seen this style before. So it is called Disney Silhouettes by Hatchet Heroes. And so the main character is the silhouette, and then all the things that you color are around. So yeah, kind of unique, kind of like a mandala, because you do have repeated shapes, but yet it just looks different. So here okay, just warning you, there are some pages that I love, and there are some pages that I feel like I totally messed up and want to like rip out of the book, but I'm keeping them just so I know. All right, so here, this is from Brave, and I tried to pick colors that are from the movie or from the character, so a lot of greens and golds. I wish I had more like reds because of her hair, but it was just the way it worked out. This one, not one of my favorites. All right, then I have this one from Incredibles. This one is one of my favorites. This is, I think, one of the first ones I've done in the book. I believe it could be Inktense, and then I went over it with color pencil. I used something to make it very bold, but I don't think it's just solid color pencil. So I'm assuming it's probably like Inktense. But then the rest of it is color pencil. Pinocchio, this is done just with color pencil. Moana, I need to go back and write what the movie is. I did it in the first few that I did, but I haven't gone back and written the other ones. But yeah, I like the way these little images turned out. And sometimes I do go back over the outline. This one looks like I took a gray, maybe a gray marker to do that. Dumbo, this is one of my favorite ones in the book. I like how it has these like paint splatters in the back because it just kind of helps give something solid in the background. Otherwise, I think it would look too busy with all these little images around. This one looks like color pencil. And the cars, I like the black and white checks. And then obviously used colors from Lightning McQueen. Bug's Life. All right, there must be a big span of ones that I haven't colored here. All right, here's one. Okay, this, just to warn you, is probably my worst coloring page I've ever done. So here, from Frozen. You know, I just had this idea of all this like glittery snowflakes and stuff floating around, and no, it just did not come out. So this is definitely one that I wanted to rip out and throw away. But there is a lot of sparkle here in her dress. Maybe it doesn't look as bad on film, but yeah, in person, it's a hot mess. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of that page. There we go. All right, here's one I do like. This is from Aladdin. We have the genie. I love the colors. Again, these paint splatters, I think, help kind of, I don't know, keep it like grounded. So you don't have all these like little floating shapes. You have something solid to kind of your eye to stay on to. And I think I have one more. Oh, no, I have a couple more, sorry. Let's see. A Lilo and Stitch. Again, you can see alcohol marker base for that one. These are single-sided, so it's kind of nice to be able to use those markers, although in some cases the designs are super, super fine. So get out your fine tip markers or your color pencils for those. All right, two more. Let's see if I can find them. All right, here is Minnie Mouse. I love the colors of this one too. Try to keep it mostly pink, but then obviously with the red bow, that stands out. All right, and then this one, I do have a video of this one on my channel. Cinderella. Cinderella is one of my favorite Disney movies. So just slight hints of glitter around here too. If I can get it to show. All right, so that is it for Disney silhouettes. And this was probably one of my most expensive coloring books. I don't think it was, the book itself was expensive, but when you have shipping and everything else, I think it was close to like $70. And I couldn't believe at the time that I purchased something so expensive, like a coloring book. But like I said, it is unique and just kind of fun to have in the collection. All right, and then my last Disney book is Disney Mandalas. This is also by Hatchet Heroes, and this book I've probably colored the most pages in from any book of mine. It's kind of one of my go-tos when I haven't colored in a while and I want to get back into coloring, so just to kind of help bring those creative juices out. I do look up like the colors of the Disney characters and try to color them as they are in the movies. So nothing like too creative or out of the box for the color choices anyway. So here we have Toy Story. A lot of them, there's a lot of repeated colors, which I didn't really think about when I would start. So, and I'll kind of point that out, but yeah, a lot of green. The dinosaur and these little alien guys. There's green on Buzz's suit here. I like the cloud wallpaper in the background. Robin Hood. So again, a lot of browns. I tried to get them to be slightly different colors, like the bear and obviously the fox and the friar. But it's like, but then this guy, he's very colorful. All right, the witch from Sleeping Beauty and the little fairies. I did use like a splatter stencil for the background. Just trying to make it look kind of smoky. And The Incredibles, I just did this one recently. So yeah, lots of reds. The background, I believe I used Inktense first and then color pencil on top. It made it go a lot quicker and gives it a little bit more bold look. And then alcohol marker base for all the other characters. Pocahontas. Bambi. Finding Nemo. All right, this is the one I wish I would have picked maybe a lighter orange for Nemo, because I like the color of the octopus, but I think Nemo should have been a little bit lighter, and then I could have shaded with color pencil, just, you know, just to make him stand out a little bit more. All right, and this one, which I am brain farting, is it The Princess and the Frog? I feel like it has another name, but I could be wrong. Wally! I love this one. I normally don't do a lot of the background, but because it had all this like cloud and I wanted it to look kind of like a night, you know, space theme, I colored that, and that is all with alcohol marker. Lion King, Snow White, Pinocchio, Mulan. I love the way the background turned out. So red with this like kind of deep burgundy color. The only thing, the little dragon character doesn't stand out too much. I tried to do it like a more like fluorescent red to get him to stand out against that regular red. And then these like gold coins. So yeah, I like this one. Oh, Winnie the Pooh. And Monsters, Inc. I'm so glad they had Boo as the center. She's like my favorite character in Monsters, Inc. All right, and then that is it for Disney Mandalas, and that wraps up that stack of books. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon with part 5.